I come to Australia and speak to clients in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. A lot of investors and corporate are still concerned about the China economic outlook. The way I tell them about China is that for Australia, we need to deal with a new China because China is undergoing a massive structural changes in terms of the domestic economy, industrial shifting, and the moving towards a more tech-driven economy from previously a property-driven economy. So my outlook for China is I'm seeing the Chinese growth number not a problem to achieve the 5% growth. The biggest problem is deflation and unemployment. This will means that the policymaker will still try to stimulate the economy, even though they lean towards more a targeted approach rather than a big stimulus. I think generally the clients are very pleased to hear about that. At least that can tell them that what we've observed from the ground may be a little bit different from what they've read, on papers. I think we are entering, the final quarters of the year 2025, and but for China, the planning is always across the calendar year. We're waiting for the fourth plenum, which is a big party meetings to decide on how to develop the country under the 15th five-year, which means that 2026 to 2030. My sense is that the policymakers still want to push for the structural reform with a continual support to economic growth. At the same time, over the next few months, they still need to tackle the biggest problem of the economy, which is deflation and over-competition, and they call it anti-inflation because the price pressure, because the size of the market gets smaller and smaller and more difficult for business to survive. They compete with each other severely, by price cutting, and that's exaggerate this deflationary pressure. So over the next few months, I'm not concerned about the China GDP number. They're going to get 5% for you in the end. I'm concerned about whether they can slow down the price pressure, not the inflation pressure, but the deflationary pressure. I think this is the key things I'm watching.